You want to learn how to use a caliper or just need a quick reminder of how to properly measure things? Then this caliper tutorial is for you. There are three common types. Vernier calipers. Simple, no batteries, a bit hard to read since you need to see which lines align best in the Vernier scale. That's why the name. And in case they fall to the ground or hit something, they will be fine, they're pretty durable. Analog calipers. They are very similar, but the measurement is showing in this dial instead of the scale. And finally, digital calipers. Very practical, super easy to read, it has extra functions, but they do need batteries and not all of them are water resistant. So it's best to keep them away from liquids. In this video, I will focus on the digital caliper, specifically this Mitutoyo, which is the one I use and I recommend it very much. Mitutoyo sponsor me. But most digital calipers have around the same functions. So what makes up a caliper? A fixed jaw, the one that stays in place, a movable jaw, which is the one that slides to measure, a locking screw to keep the jaws in place, a dial for very precise adjustment, and usually 3 to 4 buttons. Let's turn this one on right away. Before measuring anything, first close the caliper and make sure it reads 0. It does read 0, right? This is really important because calipers are really precise tools, measuring up to 0.01 millimeters or 5/10,000ths of an inch. If something as little as a dust particle gets between the jaws, which are not always easy to see, your measurement will have an offset. If this happens, just clean them and you're all set. And if it still gives you a number, you might need to recalibrate. There are many ways to measure with your caliper, and this is the most common method. Place the object between the jaws and close them. They usually have a grippy areas for this, and use the dial for the final adjustment. And for small spaces, use the sharp tips of the jaws. To measure holes or inner diameters, use the mini jaws on the other side. Make sure both contact points are touching the internal walls and that there's no inclination. For grooves or cutouts, use the depth rod on the back. Be careful to keep the caliper flat. If it's tilted, the reading won't be accurate. Notice there's a cutout in the tip of the rod. If the dimension you're checking is next to a wall, make sure the cutout is facing that wall, in case there is an angle in the corner that can affect the measurement. 4. Step measurement. For this one, you use the backside of the caliper. Like the name says, this is to measure steps, meaning any height difference between two flat areas. First, open the caliper a bit, place one side at the bottom, and push the sliding part until it rests on the step. And make sure the caliper is flat against the object. Those are the measurements you can take with any kind of caliper. Now let's talk about the advantages that the digital component brings to the table. If you take a measurement but realize either your client or software needs imperial units, first, since it can accidentally be moved, lock the caliper in place, then press the inches/millimeters button to change its units back and forth. All this time we have been working with absolute measurements, meaning the measurement is always taking our true zero as reference. However, if we first make a measurement and then press this button, now this is our new zero, meaning that any change we make is incremental to it. That's why the ink in the corner of the display. This is useful when we need to check the size difference between two objects. These are the essentials to use a digital caliper correctly. Let me know what tool I should cover next. Until then, keep building amazing things.